Hello and welcome back to another bike review from BikeRide.com. I'm your host Scott, and today we are all about speed. Because fast and fun seem to be the key attributes of the Addmotor M66 R7 e-bike. It's operated by a powerful Bafang motor and able to accelerate very quickly with a high top speed of 25 miles per hour. The powerful motor and high speed limit mean that this bike is a lot of fun to ride. And despite its fast and fun attitude, the M66 is far from a conventional bike when it comes to size and design, with a frame geometry closer to a vintage moped and a chair-like seating position. So how does this bike perform when it's out on the road? Is the M66 even worth attempting to pedal, or is it really intended for throttle-only action? We're gonna get this review started. And while the intro rolls, if you like this content and love the channel, please give me a like and subscribe. And make sure that you turn on those notifications, because we've got some really cool e-bikes coming in the near future. Now let's get out and ride some bikes. So what is the Addmotor M66 R7? Well, it's got a powerful motor and some signature retro style. This e-bike would be easy to mistake for a conventional moped as it zips by you. And it's got a large 750 watt motor from Bafang, which provides plenty of speed and power. It's comfortable to ride with a large padded banana seat, capable of fitting up to 2 passengers. The only downside of the M66 is that its seating position really reduces the ability to pedal this bike easily. Addmotor did not seem to design this bike for much pedaling, with its powerful motor, large battery, and an easy to use throttle enticing you to do away with any effort from the legs. The bike brings high speed and great looks in a convenient and fun package. But how does it compare to other e-bikes? And are moped-style e-bikes a logical option for all users? Let's dive into the pros and cons and see what the M66 e-bike is all about. The first pro with the M66 is the powerful motor that we have on the unit. It's both powerful and responsive, and it was capable of pushing the bike for a considerable distance during our range test. During our range test, we did include a lot of throttle-only riding too, just because the bike really pushes for that. When riding for longer distances, the bike's pedal position quickly causes discomfort, primarily in my knees and hips. And this resulted in a range test in which I was really heavy on the throttle, minimizing my required pedal input. Despite this, the bike could power me for over 30 miles with plenty of power. So if you're in the market for a moped e-bike capable of high top speeds, then the M66 from Addmotor could definitely be a good fit. It offers good throttle response, fast acceleration, and a high top speed, which all make it a very fun bike to ride. Our second pro with this bike is the high speed. The Addmotor was very stable at high speeds, and it offered comfortable performance even when traveling faster than 30 miles per hour on the descents. The bike is made from aluminum and it's quite heavy. It weighs over 75 pounds. 86 pounds to be precise, and it has some durable cast alloy wheels and a large 4-inch tire width. This heavy weight and large tire size combined with its seating position make the bike very stable and comfortable when you're traveling at high speeds. Our third pro for the bike was the large capacity battery that it has. It's powered by a large 20 amp hour 48 volt battery, which is really ready for all-day riding. The 20 amp hour batteries are some of the largest available for e-bikes in this price range, and they allow for extended ranges while using high pedal assist levels. The battery really performed well in testing, with a stable charge display even during heavy use. During use, it really showed a reliable tapering as the battery power was used up, with the battery reducing in a measured manner and only starting to impact the motor's power as we dropped down to around the 20 to 10% level. I found the battery was powerful and consistent, which are key attributes if you want to estimate your range reliably. And now moving on to the cons. Our first con for this bike was the torque and throttle. The throttle and pedal assist on the Addmotor M66 R7 are torque heavy. And while this will be the perfect fit for a more adventurous rider or those that enjoy speed, some other users are going to find it a little bit much and will want more control over their acceleration. The quick takeoff can be a little jolting for some users, but it also makes the bike very useful when taking off and keeping up with traffic in a busy urban area. So this con is going to be kind of up to your personal preference. This is something that users may want to test before purchasing by trying out a few different e-bikes to see the differences in torque and acceleration between models. Our second con is the pedal position. Because one thing that Addmotor did not really do was design this bike to pedal well, at least not for taller riders like myself. I found that the seating position was quite cramped unless I was using the throttle only. Pedaling the bike was definitely a challenge. And during the range test, I found that it led to discomfort in my knees and hips. While I did enjoy riding the bike while I was using the throttle, it has a very comfortable seat and it feels similar to a moped. So that's not something you really are going to want to pedal. But I would definitely avoid it anytime that I had to pedal a lot. So the real big benefit of this bike was that the powerful motor kept me from feeling like I needed to pedal much. And our final con for this bike is the fact that it's a heavy moped-style bike. So some users are going to prefer something other than the M66's retro moped style. The bike is large and heavy, weighing 86 pounds in total. Plus those large tires are going to enlarge your turn radius, and they could make using different vehicle-mounted bike racks a challenge. Only some bike racks are going to fit large 4-inch tires. The bike is also pretty tough to lift, and it requires a ground level lockup for storage to make it easy. Moving it into a lift or upstairs would be really challenging and not practical, because it's quite heavy and cumbersome. The pedal position will also throw off bikers who enjoy exercise, because the bike's design inspires the user to use the throttle primarily. At least in my case, I found pedaling to become uncomfortable over time. So what does it do best? The Addmotor is fast and fun, with great acceleration and speed. The powerful motor and seating position make the bike stable and easy to ride, and they require little effort from the rider for maintaining that top speed. Those looking for a motorcycle-inspired e-bike will benefit from all of these items. The bike could be good for commuters who want to put less effort into the ride. It maintains a high top speed, whether using the throttle or pedal assist. Plus, it has a high range of 30+ miles. This can assist commuters facing long trips or planning multiple daily trips. And the bike also performs well on or off the road with those large tires and capable motor. The stable frame and comfortable seating position combined together to create a surprisingly capable bike when we got off of the pavement and started riding on some of these dirt and gravel trails. So what are some reasons to look elsewhere? Well, the two essential items to consider when using these bikes are the weight and size. Heavy bikes with large tires can quickly become cumbersome in urban settings, so careful thought should be placed on your needs, and also to make sure that you transport or store this bike properly, because it can be challenging if you don't have the right means of transport and storage. The seating position and riding style are very different from a standard bike. This can increase or decrease your comfort depending on the situation and what you prefer. The M66 in particular was uncomfortable for pedaling, even when it was under power from the motor to assist with that pedaling. When unpowered, it was a serious chore to move the bike. So the size and heft of the bike mean that you're going to be dependent on throttle power for a lot of its usefulness. Next, taking a look at the frame and geometry. The M66 features a non-conventional frame with its moped-inspired style. The resulting seating position is similar to sitting in a chair. It's straight back position, which can definitely be fine-tuned with the adjustable stem that it has. This offers 60 degrees of adjustment to help find a comfy angle while you're seated. The seat itself is long and heavily padded, very similar to a retro banana-style saddle. It's comfortable, but at 6 feet tall, I found the fit to be cramped for my legs. The position puts you too close to the cranks for comfortable pedaling, which resulted in quick discomfort on longer rides. The aluminum frame is well built and quite strong, with no flex present during use. This helps with that confident ride quality, especially with the overall weight of the bike, and it allows you to feel comfortable and relaxed at speed or while you're cornering. The bike also performed well off-road, despite its lack of rear suspension. The large dual-crown front suspension fork did a good job of compensating for dips and bumps, and the padded seat really assisted with the rear end, which made it surprisingly capable. Taking a look at the measurements on this bike, it's not applicable for a seat tube measurement, but we have a reach measurement of 13.5 inches, a stack measurement of 20.2 inches, a stand over height of 17 inches, a virtual top tube length of 14 inches, saddle height of 32.5 inches, a wheelbase of 48 inches, and this gives us a recommended rider height from 5 feet 1 inch to 6 feet 2 inches. As soon as you hop on the M66, it's easy to forget that it's a bike, as you zip away with a simple twist of the throttle. The Bafang motor on the bike is a great companion, and it keeps your legs from working very hard. It's capable of a total of 1,000 watts at peak output, with a 750 watt nominal rating. This motor can put out 80 Newton meters of torque at peak output, which is more than enough to power you to the top of almost any hill. The motor and controller are torque heavy in response to input, which leads to quick acceleration and lots of fun. This also means the bike will be a good fit for commuters who want to take off and keep up with traffic, or just feel that need for speed. The powerful motor is also helpful to offset the bike's inefficient pedaling. Without such a large motor, the heavy bike would be uncomfortable to pedal on anything but a flat road. During our acceleration test, we got a very fast time of 8 seconds for throttle and 10 seconds for pedal assist. And it was also quick in our hill climbs, with a 3-minute time on our small hill climb at 20.7 miles per hour and a time of 2 minutes 12 seconds on our medium hill climb at 17.4 miles per hour. Next, looking at cockpit and control. The cockpit on the M66 features an array of buttons, which are luckily labeled with icons for their purpose. On the left side, a control pad operates the functions on the center LCD. This bike has up and down buttons to control your pedal assist level or scroll the menu. It also has the power and options button, a left and right turn signal, and a horn. On the right side, sitting just below the throttle, is an additional small black button. This turns the throttle on and off. So if you have an issue with your throttle, look here first. To turn the bike on, you first need to press the button on the battery to wake it up. After you see the lights activate on the battery meter, go back to the control pad. Press and hold the option or power button to turn on the bike, holding until you see the display power up. After the display powers on, you'll see that it contains lots of info at a glance, including additional trip info that you can scroll through with the options button. Some nice features of the display are the watt meter showing your real-time power output, as well as icons showing when the lights and turn signal are active. The cockpit also features an adjustable stem for the handlebars, allowing you to quickly adjust the angle up to 60 degrees to find the right fit. Next, taking a look at the battery. The M66 includes a large 48 volt, 20 amp hour externally mounted battery, which is located just below the seat. One difference between this bike and others is that the battery must be turned on before the bike can be activated from the control pad. This can be a little bit confusing at first. The battery is mounted below the seat, which makes it a little challenging to remove. After unlocking the battery with the key, you have to give it a good tug up to remove it from the track. Reinserting the battery is fairly straightforward, but again, it can be a little bit cramped to get the battery in position and lined up against the plastic rails, and it only really goes in from one side as the other side's blocked by the chain. After the battery is reinstalled on the bike, you lock it into position with the key. So our range test received a total range of 29.52 miles with a total elevation gain of 1,480 feet over 1 hour, 41 minutes at 17.5 miles per hour on average. The battery for the Addmotor uses Samsung cells, and it requires 8 to 10 hours to charge it back up from 0%. It can be charged while installed on the bike or after being removed via the same charge port located on the side of the battery. The charge port is protected by a small swivel cover when it's not in use. And the charger has a 2 amp 48 volt output. Next, looking at the drivetrain. I did not enjoy pedaling the Addmotor very much, largely due to its uncomfortable pedal position. I've described this lack of proper fit in the con above, but when it comes to the drivetrain, we also see that the gearing is insufficient for the top speed that this bike is capable of. The bike comes outfitted with a 14 to 28 tooth cassette range, and this leaves you feeling along for the ride at higher speeds. The ghost pedaling is present at any speed over 20 miles per hour, which leaves you dependent on the motor. At the opposite end of the spectrum, the bike is definitely a chore to pedal when it's not under power. Its total weight and difficult seating position lead to a less than ideal pedal experience. The drivetrain uses a Tourney 7-speed overhand TX50 shifter and a 14 to 28 tooth cassette. The overhand shifter offers a visual indicator for gearing, but I found it to be a little bit clunky during use. It would be great to see an increased gear range on this bike. When it's time to stop, the Addmotor M66 uses a set of Tektro mechanical disc brakes. The Tektro Aries performed well in our tests, despite being a mechanical brake. So generally, hydraulic brakes offer better stopping power than mechanical brakes. However, the Aries mechanical brake bucked the trend, bringing a very similar result to other hydraulic brakes on similar bikes. This is possibly due to a sintered metal brake pad, heavy overall weight, and the tire choice on this unit. The brakes and pad did make a fair amount of noise during use, but they were definitely capable performers with good stopping power, as they managed to bring the bike to a stop in a total distance of 19 feet, which is very competitive with other units we've tested recently. When it comes to the wheels, tires, and fenders, the M66 uses a set of 20-inch by 4-inch light off-road tires. These have a mountain-type styling, and they use medium-sized lugs to gain traction. They offered good traction on pavement and dirt paths during testing, but I found that they tended to drift a little bit on gravel or loose surfaces. Despite this, I enjoyed the tire's traction and ride quality overall. The M66 differs from other bikes in the fact that it uses cast alloy wheels, which do not require maintenance like truing and eliminate the fear of breaking a spoke. The wheels are from Bafang and come with a motor, and the wheels and tires were very confident at speed, which is probably partially due to this increased weight. And I found that the bike was very stable and comfortable, whether cornering or traveling at speed. Next, let's take a look at the M66's safety features, starting with its bright headlight and the integrated tail light. The tail light also offers a braking indicator, turn signals, and hazard lights. The bike also features an on-off throttle switch, which can be helpful to ensure that you're not going to accidentally bump the throttle when you don't want to. It's a nice feature when you're transporting or lifting the bike, since it's pretty easy to accidentally twist that throttle when you're not meaning to. The bike also features brake inhibitors on both brake levers to assist with stopping, as we normally see on all modern e-bikes. The grips on the M66 are an ergonomic faux leather grip, and they're not a lock-on grip. They look good on the bars, but they offer little past basic performance. They can slide around on the bars because they rely on friction to stay in place. So personally, I definitely prefer a set of rubber lock-on grips for the bike over these. When it comes to the saddle, we have a retro-style banana seat, which is long enough to fit 2 people. The seat doesn't offer any adjustability, so you have to move forward or back on the saddle to try to find a comfortable pedal position. This was next to impossible for me, as the distance to the pedals from the seat was just too short for my inseam. What the seat lacks in adjustability, it definitely makes up for in comfort and cushioning. It's a very large plush seat, which did not lead to discomfort during our range test, at least in the form of it being too hard. It even took some of the impacts out of off-road riding, as the bike performed well off of the pavement, even with its lack of rear suspension. And getting down to the pedals, we have a standard set of platform alloy pedals. They're fine platform for starting off, and they offer reasonable traction for most shoe types. The Addmotor M66 R7 is one fast and fun bike. It has a high power motor and an easy to use throttle that inspires some serious speed. The bike is also comfortable and easy to ride, even at high speeds or off-road. Combined, they make for a great riding experience that's easy to love, so long as you don't intend to pedal too much. The downside was a lack of pedal performance, which made you dependent on that motor and throttle. So if you're looking for a powerful bike for zipping around at high speeds, the Addmotor M66 R7 is definitely a good fit. But if you're more interested in casual cruising, other bikes might suit you better. The size of the unit is also a key consideration for most users. Its weight and size can make it tough to store, lift, and transport the bike, such as if you're trying to lift it and place it onto a vehicle-mounted bike rack. Despite this, the M66 was a great bike for riding at speed, on or off-road, with some classic styling and a true need for speed. Is this bike for you? Check out the detailed specs at bikeride.com and see user and expert reviews. You can also check out other great e-bikes and see them rated to find your perfect match. Do you have a question or something you want to say? Let me know in the comments and we'll start getting you some answers. If you like this video, give us a like and subscribe so we can keep on bringing you the latest e-bike reviews and news. I'm Scott with bikeride.com. I want to say thanks for watching and I hope that you enjoy the ride.